Hey, this is Matt once again. We're back to another video, and this is a paid request for Sean. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, movie reviews, re-reviews, random thoughts, streams, commentaries, tier lists, rankings, video game playthroughs, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it either directly on my PayPal. I do have a CashApp as well. Links are down below in the info box, and I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. And for those who sent them, thank you. I do appreciate it. And this is for Smiling Friends, Season 2. He did request Season 1, which I reviewed. Smiling Friends, I had never heard of the show before he had sent them the requests in, but overall I'm enjoying it. I enjoy its wacky, weird sense of humor. The episodes are only 10-11 minutes long, so it doesn't overstay its welcome. Interesting how at times they use different types of animation in one of these early episodes. In fact, the first episode of Season 2, there's one character who's done in a PS1 style animation while the others are done in their own animated manner. Sometimes you'll see stop motion, sometimes you'll see real people in there. And it's definitely unique where I'm curious to see what the hell's going to happen next. But it debuted Adult Swim, I guess really 2022. It was only 3 seasons. Which seemed like a show that, I don't know, it had that vibe that I would think a lot of people at Adult Swim, that audience would have liked and appreciated. And it's kind of surprised it didn't go longer. But the idea is you have these two characters, I'm going to try to put them over here. The short pink guy is Pim. He's more optimistic and cheery and ready for an adventure. And then the guy in yellow is Charlie. He's more the laid back, cynical, yeah, it's probably going to be bad. A little bit more down-to-earth type of guy. And they're with this organization called Smiling Friends, where the job is to try and make their clients smile. There's this grumpy asshole who's works with them called Alan. He's red. There's this little guy who you can never understand what he's saying. I forget his name. I think it starts with a G. And then their boss, who's a complete weirdo. And then you just go through, and then these episodes, like whatever that happens kind of mentality. Like episode 1. They see this video game character, Grimley, is out of work. He was from the PlayStation 1 era, so he's walking around and he has that PS1 type of graphics. And he seems, if not homeless, close to it. And I kind of like this because if it was very of it, you just see this happening where he's like, oh, wait a minute. And he starts doing a cameo. And the way he's introducing the cameo is very similar to how people would do it nowadays. But it's just the fact this, like, mosquito-looking type of PS1 character doing a cameo. Just something about that was kind of funny. Just the whole motif. So Pim is trying to help him out. Meanwhile, Charlie, he's back at the business building, and this big steroided up asshole wants, you're supposed to make me smile. That's part of your gig. You gotta make me smile. As throughout that whole episode, Charlie's just trying to do whatever he can, including like wearing a maid outfit, getting him drinks. And there's a point where the guy like pulls his nose off. And then you cut to Pim with the PS1 character. They go to that guy's boss, who's really, really loving chicken nuggets. I love chicken nuggets. I mean, I thought I was addicted to chicken nuggets, but this guy, more so. And then he has this, and again, then in a different animation, this big, I don't know how to describe the character. not quite robotic, like much bigger character, badass, who's going to be the new mascot. But then he shoots, and the boss goes, "Don't shoot in here." I'm sorry. Eventually, these stories come together. The steroided up guy is going to fight the mascot guy. The CEO falls off, tells him to shoot, but he said not to shoot inside. Steroid guy ultimately kills the CEO, but then he smiled and realizes, wow, that's what I needed all along. And then that mascot's sad and doesn't know what to do. And so Grimly goes, hey, why don't we work together? So they work together in this Super Smash Brothers type of game, and everything's fine. Also, the whole time the boss is going somewhat crazy for some reason. Again, it has that, not haphazard, that's the wrong way to put it, but it has that eclectic energy that, I don't want to say it's throwing something against the wall to see what sticks, but I don't know why it made me think of, like, if the people who did Naked Gun type of movies, like they did an animated show, that's what it kind of reminded me of, because you just don't know what the hell's going to happen next. Episode 2, this one I wasn't big on. I think just the subject matter about politics and presidents, and I don't know if it was trying to comment on the presidential points of that period, because this would have been 2023, 2024 when this season 2 came out. But there's President Jimbo, who, they didn't say it was Donald Trump or anything, but he's a slob. And it's an actual human in this animated world. It's actual human. Guy's big fat jowls, and he's a slob, and he's a complete imbecile. But our character's supposed to make him smile. He's got these glasses on. And I didn't mind the actor. I swear I've seen this actor before, but I can't put my finger on it. So Pim and Charlie are supposed to help this guy out. Charlie doesn't want to get into politics. Pim just wants to do his service. Also Mr. Fraud, which I like that they brought that character back for a bit, because he was in season 1. So it shows a little bit of continuity in the universe. But the president keeps doing stupid things. Like he shook hands with this guy. And when he comes back, the two characters will look at him wide-eyed. You're supposed to condemn him. What? He's a genocidal dictator. You're supposed to condemn him. And then it cuts to like a country being destroyed. Ultimately, Charlie wants to just get the hell out of Dodge. Finds this group. Because he had mentioned about how it doesn't matter how we vote. There's always some secret society group. Which he does find, which is this group of worms. And then Charlie says, well, hey, that's okay. I'll join you guys. I don't like that guy anyway. Oh, okay. I'm just surprised, you don't bat this fraud guy since, you don't like you guys. What are you talking about? Well, I mean, Fraud's a good guy, he'll eat some bugs and stuff. What? He eats bugs? Does he eat worms? Oh my God, he eats worms. We need to stop him. No. Don't stop him. So then the worms are trying to get Jumbo reelected, but it doesn't matter because Glip, that was the name of the little guy, Glip, I guess the only one who votes, and he voted for Mr. Fraud, so he wins. And hey, the president, just have a happy ending because he's now lying on the beach, relaxing at the very end, so... Just to be fair, it didn't go as political as I thought it was going to. I think that worried because I've just seen so many shows, movies, other stuff go political that I'm just so sick of seeing it and hearing it. So maybe that blurred my enjoyment that I would have had more without putting that into a context in my brain. But I mean, compared to the other episodes, it just, the whole concept just was just less interesting to me. Episode 3 was interesting because it follows the grouchy red character Alan. And pretty much it follows his path and what he does during the day. And I thought that was kind of at least a different direction to go in, because it doesn't have our two main characters in it much, except at the very beginning. Oh, we're going to go on this great adventure, cool. And then at the very end, oh wow, it was a great adventure, man. As in, too bad you guys didn't see it. But then Alan, just what he goes through just to get these paper clips for the balls. And yeah, I thought this actually gave quite a few chuckles when he goes to a store and he's trying to ask directions, and the employee goes, what you want? Okay, what was it? What? Okay, I'm busy. Well, do you work here or not? Asshole. You call me an asshole? Yeah, because you're being an asshole. Trust me, as a guy that worked in retail, thankfully, I never took part in that. In your head, you're thinking it though. God damn, this guy's bothering me. I'm trying to get my shit done. But I mean, it's part of your job to help the person. But then, whenever you go to a store, you know why the employees disappear, because they don't want to talk to the public. So, since I was in retail for a bit, if you go to a store, I know the other side of it. I just know they're thinking that. That's why, again, if you go to a store, you rarely fucking find them. So, I mean, the whole thing was just funny to me. But he does get the paper clips from this guy. But this thief steals it, and he chases the thief and grabs on this helicopter. But then the Air Force are chasing the helicopter and it crashes. But then Bigfoot gets it and he chases Bigfoot into his cave. But then there's like a pile of treasure or something. This pirate skeleton ghost comes in and cuts Bigfoot's head off. And then he chases him and gets on a boat. The pirate throws a grenade and Alan jumps off and then grabs, I don't know how the fuck he got this, a thing that somehow is attached to the ship that was not there before. But you're not supposed to think about any of this. And kind of rise the waves that get there, but then this big creature swallows them all up. But then Alan gets the paper clips and is able to stab in the inside of the creature and gets spit out. Then finds out the paper clips are not there. There's a note from his neighbor that he talked to earlier. And the neighbor says, I got a bomb and I want you to play the PS2 game Burnout with me. And Alan has to do it. But then he takes one of the paper clips and hits the bomb. And again, it just the insanity of it all was what was funny. Just ludicrous. And ultimately he gives it to the boss. And the boss's reward is just a toy of him, of the boss. And I was like, well, I don't really want this. I'll take it. Okay. And the boss looked at him and go, oh, how did he word it? Like, well, I mean, you already gave it to him, so, man, yeah, okay, that was something. You just gave it to him in front of me. So, and that's another thing that I find fun, is that sometimes they kind of break, how do I put it? They break their, like they're playing a character, but then sometimes they like break character and then they talk kind of in a different tone, like how you would talk to someone in real life. And that's what kind of, I thought that made it funny. at times funnier. Just like I could hear someone talking and saying it just like this, in this fashion. I think sometimes that's the fun of the show. It was when those moments pop up. Episode 4, that was okay. So episode 3 I liked. 1 I liked, 2 was there, 3 I liked, 4, then back to kind of there. There's a wedding. The boss is getting married to this lady who's a succubus. Or you find out pretty much is a daughter of Satan. You find that out in a bit. The yellow guy, Charlie's getting drunk, and I thought this was really funny. He's at the wedding, and he's talking to Pim, but then he's not making sense. So he's talking friendly, and he's talking mumbling, and Pim's like, he's like, the guy just went from this to this, and it's like, Pim's like, I don't know what the hell you're saying. What's going on? So again, the characters find out who this girl Brittany is. They don't know how to kill it. And I think this is why it rubbed me the wrong way. They looked at this book, there's nothing in there, so they find a video on YouTube. And the video on YouTube is, I shit you not, Doug Walker, the nostalgia critic. Only he's the... I don't know what they... he's playing a... He's got a costume on and explains how to slay demons. That's on a full moon. But then he does stuff. I kill demons when you don't. Like, he talks like a nostalgia critic character. But he's talking about this. And he's dressed up a bit differently. I don't like Doug Walker. I never liked Doug Walker. I never liked the nostalgia critic. I thought his videos were not funny. I thought they were completely unentertaining. Just his review of Pink Floyd's The Wall was fucking abysmal. His skits are just excruciating to try to watch. And then all that changed the channel shit that I guess didn't really... I mean, it took down that website. But, I mean, Doug Walker is still making videos and still getting views. So, I mean, I guess for him it was a extended speed bump. He's still getting the views and all the other stuff. I don't think he fucking deserves... I mean, if you like him, that's fine. I think there's plenty of people who do better job reviewing films, being more entertaining, being more funny. This comes from a guy that likes... And I still like Angry Video Game Nerd. On a side note, I did watch the recent one with Kyle Justin. It was very depressing. It was cool to see him, but you could tell Kyle Justin, the guitar guy... I think he suffered a stroke or something, because you could tell he's slower. He can't quite remember how to do the guitar correctly. And I'm like, okay, either he's in bad health, and he wanted to do something, or again he suffered a stroke, and this was just something to kind of get him back into things. Which I think that might be the case. Just something happened. You could tell. So it was nice to see him, but at the same time, anyway, that's a whole other conversation. As if anyone ever wants me to react to or talk about AVGN, PayPal, CashApp down below. Feel free. But anyway, I like James Wolfe, although he's nobody's perfect. But Doug Walker I never liked. So they try to stab the girl, but the knife that Charlie had at the beginning was a fake knife. And then she's like, what are you doing? They explain it. Well, you're not? Oh, no, I am, but you didn't have to say it that way. Eventually, she goes out the window. She dies. The boss wakes up. He does something that scares the shit out of them. And Charles like, don't do that shit. Mister with the hard stuff. Okay, fine. Just don't do that again. Either the boss or someone else did that. And it just... I again, it was okay. It had I just I hate that Dud Walker guy. Wait, they had to use him. I don't mind when they've used like Rich and Mike from Red Letter Media, because those guys I respect. I don't always agree with their sentiments on stuff, but they're at times entertaining. But yeah, this guy anyway. So that rubbed me the wrong way. If it was someone else, and maybe if they did a little bit more with the daughter of Satan thing, have a bit more fun with that in some way, then maybe I would have enjoyed it more. Episode 5. Something about this probably one of my favorites of the season. First, the boss messes with our two leads because he says, "You gotta make Jared Fogle laugh." "Oh, I'm messing with you. That's not really Jared Fogle." If you don't remember, Jared Fogle was the guy who, Subway, he was on all the commercials. Then people found out that he had titty PORN stuff on his computer. And among other things, he's in jail. I think he's still in jail. So 2030 or something. Subway took a big hit on that. That's a whole other conversation. And I've thought of him recently because I was looking at, because on YouTube they have, they want to push videos onto you if you just look at right, and then a popular thing people are reacting to right now is 90s commercials that age poorly. And one of them had Jared Fogle at like a hearing being judged. I'm like, yeah, talk about airing poorly. Aging poorly, I should say. But after that, they're supposed to help this scientist, and he's being like a typical mad scientist, but then his brother comes in. His brother looks more human, but like rotoscoped. Rotoscoping, if you think of, say, maybe like the original Superman cartoons, the Fleischer cartoons, or even the old He-Man cartoon, where it's the natural movements of a person and they just painted over it. You could tell. And I think what it is that you think he's going to be this typical mad scientist. What's he going to, he's going to create life. And his brother just comes in, and it just, the dialogue was so natural where I thought the actor did a good job. "You're being loud." "What, my volume?" "Yeah, your volume. That's what loud means, though, isn't it?" Something about that line made me laugh, and I rewound it a few times. "You're being loud." "Oh, you have a problem with the volume?" "Yeah, volume. That's what loud means." And just them arguing, and you see the two leads just awkward, and we've all been in that position where you're just awkwardly standing while these two are arguing, and you don't really know what to do, so you're just kind of looking around, and that's where the two lead characters, and then these two just keep arguing more and more. "No, that's what you do. Waste time. You do stupid shit all the time." I just, something about the argument, it felt real and it felt natural, and something about that made it even fucking funnier. And for some reason, like, that's my favorite scene in the whole season, is that bit. So eventually he gets pissed and kicks the mad scientist out, and he doesn't know what to do. So Pym tries to get the brother, while he's out working construction, to forgive the scientist guy. And he's like, "Nope, I made my decision." While the other guy's trying to get the mad scientist to talk to girls, but he's awkward and it doesn't work out. So eventually they get the two to talk again. Then one blames the other for taking pain pills and missing their mom's funeral. They get into a fight. And ultimately, one of the mad scientist's creations are alive and say, "Please stop fighting." "Oh my god, you actually did. You made life. You really are something." And then, they become a family again, and everything's fine and dandy now. So something about that in a weird way was kind of sweet of an ending. Again, the acting, especially by the two brothers, I thought were pretty well done, and yeah, so, I don't know, something about that clicked for me. I thought that was really funny. And this season was only 8 episodes, so I think it was shorter than the other seasons. Episode 6 was a fun one. Our two lead characters get to a UFO group because Pim's really into it. And those two and this guy named Bill get abducted by actual aliens. When they wake up, Bill is dead, and the two are trying to figure out what to do. Then they find out that the aliens that picked them up got picked up by other aliens. And when they leave, there's like a big party going on. And then they see not the aliens that picked them up and killed Bill, but the aliens that picked them up. The other aliens that picked the aliens up. It's like a frat party. You see a bunch of aliens doing like beer pong and other stuff. And the two main aliens, they alter the voice so you can't tell right away. But it's Rich and Mike. Mike and Rich from Red Letter Media. Again, they're altered, so you're not gonna... I don't really know why they were altered. I actually think it would have been a lot funnier if they were not altered. I think if they used their actual regular voices, it would have made it funnier. So, yeah, I disagree with the notion of having them altered. The voices, but that's just me. I know Mike voiced another character, which I thought was a funny episode in season 1, but again, there's been characters that sound similar, the same on this. I mean, it wouldn't... I don't think people would have complained, but yeah. So that's the thing, you get Mike and Rich, but some people might not even know it's them because they won't recognize it, and then, again, I think the regular voice would have been funnier. But pretty much they get the two, pressure them into destroying this planet. Then you find out it's a prank. There's no one on there. And they're laughing about it. And the two leads get pissed. And then the cops come. And oh no, the cops. So the two leads find the aliens that took them, steal their keys, try to fly the flying saucer. And then before they get there, they find out that the Earth is flat. And they start arguing and, oh my god, I can't believe it. It's flat. I'll go puke. Kind of a weird idea. It's kind of a weird ending, but a lot of that happens a lot. Like, again, you don't know what the hell they're going to throw in there. So, you know, I guess they're like, well, what can we do with an ending? Let's just have it be like the world's flat. And they're getting upset and ready to throw up and be sick from it. So. I thought it was fun to have aliens that were pranksters and like people straight out of an Animal House movie ripoff or something. Kind of wish we could have delved more into that aspect of these, I don't know, party animal type of aliens. But yeah, just not enough time. It only got like 10, 11 minutes for the full episode, so. Again, fun. Still fun for what it is. Episode 7. Pim goes with the boss to get this jewel from a place called Spamtopia. Pim goes along because he just speaks the language because he was... He had a friend, a pen pal friend, had written letters to him back in the day, so he learned their language. And apparently if you look the teen in the eye, you get a death sentence. So while they're doing this deal, Pim keeps hearing, which we see is this mosquito sucking out of the... Because the teen is a giant eyeball with clothes on. And he could hear this thing sucking. And I think there's like a spurt of blood that happens. So Pim looks. And the teen's like, "Would you look at me?" So then they're sentenced to die. But then you find out the teen was the pen pal that Pym had back in the day. And then, oh wow, I can't believe it's you. And then the teen just says, not only will I not have anyone die because of that, then for some reason he goes, there'll be no other rules as well. Which then turns everything to anarchy. And the whole place gets fucked up and glitched out. And our Pym and the boss have to escape. And then the side plot was the boss left his little kid with the others, and within a minute the kid died, and then they didn't know what to do. So when Pym and the boss get back, they're horrified, but then the boss uses the jewel that he got, how convenient, brings it back. Not only does it come back, but it becomes a butterfly and starts giving out this dust, but then the dust makes the characters blind and deaf and more horrified. And that's how the episode ends. That was probably the funniest bit in the episode. I don't know, that one didn't do much for me other than that. I just didn't find a whole lot to laugh at. I liked the idea of the team being this giant eyeball with a body's clothes, the design, but I don't know, it could be an interesting world, but it just, because of the short running time, there just wasn't enough time to explore it, to see what all you could extract from that world. Or the idea that, well, Pym knows the teen and maybe there's things they could do together. If you know a teen of this place, the roller coaster ride of fun you could possibly have when you have the ability to know the teen and get away with whatever. I don't know, I just thought there's a lot of opportunities that maybe could not have been arisen because of the short running time. And the side plot, other than the very end, the rest of that side plot didn't do anything for me. But, probably one of my least. I mean, I don't dislike any of these episodes. If I have to say least favorite, it probably would be that one. No, it'd probably be that one and episode 2, the President one, would be my, if I have to pick least favorites. And again, they're watchable, they're fine. And I'll get to episode 8 in a minute, but I would say my favorites would be episode 5 with the mad scientist and his brother. The first episode was fun as well, with the PS1 character. And episode 8 I didn't mind as well. The Tears build a rotten snowman, snow and garbage. Ultimately, Pym finds something that brings it to life. There's a montage where Pym and the snowman are having fun. And the guy who voices the snowman, I recognized him. He's from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. I think he voiced Milkshake. I think he voiced him. But then ultimately, Pym screws up by letting the snowman know that life can end. So he starts screaming. Just now, he's just been enjoying life and knew about life, but now he knows this could end and has an existential crisis because of it, and won't stop screaming. He's trying to get help from Charlie and the others. And all of a sudden, Bill Nye, the science guy, comes by. But they don't get Bill Nye's voice. Now, I don't know if they ever asked Bill Nye. Maybe they did. He said no because within a minute the guy dies. If they actually got Bill Nye's voice, I think that joke would have worked better and funnier. As is, it was a random reference. So I'm like, whatever. I mean, it's not often you hear about Bill Nye the Science Guy anymore. But again, if they had gotten him to do the voice, then it probably would have been a bit more fun, a little bit more, okay, that's kind of cool type of thing. even if he dies a minute later. I will say the funniest bit is they bring the snowman to the mountains, snowy mountains. And when they get back, a Yeti comes and says, "Is this yours?" "Alright, you don't leave this on my property, because this guy kept screaming and scared the hell out of my wife and all this other stuff. Okay, you do this again, I'll beat your ass." And when he leaves, Charlie goes, "How rude." "Oh, what's up, huh? Huh? You say something?" "Yeah, that's what I thought, you fucking pussy." And then he punches the wall and leaves again. And then after a beat or two, then Charlie goes, "Well, you know what, I could have taken." Like, I thought that was really funny. So then eventually, at the end, they jump to like the snowman. They put him in the freezer of the fridge. They're going to the beach. He's like, "Wait." And I don't know, maybe they cut it for time. It seemed a bit jarring. Just the way he said wait, it seemed like they were going to leave him there. But I guess they took him with them in the cooler. Because I thought it was going to be, oh, maybe he snuck into the cooler. No, it seemed like there was something missing in between. Maybe that's just me. It just felt a bit jarring. But it seems like he dodged as a heat, but then he goes, and now he's part of the waves. And it seems like a happy ending. And then the show ends. But a lot of times when the show ends, there'll be something after the credits. And here, they were talking, well, is he the full ocean? I mean, is he part of the earth? And then I guess he kind of becomes a bad guy. But then it cuts away before you really did see more of it, so... But I would say that was kind of fun. The Yeti was the best part of it. Overall, I enjoyed it. I mean, I don't know if I liked it more than season 1. I kind of like them evenly. If I had to pick, I probably would put season 1 above it. But I did like this. It kept me on my toes, wondering what was going to happen next. I was intrigued when I got to the next episode. And again, they're only 10, 11 minutes long, so it doesn't overstay its welcome. Never got boring. That's why even the episodes I wasn't big on, I'm like, oh, okay. They were only 10 minutes, 11 minutes long, so oh well. It's hard to get mad at that. It didn't waste tons of my time. I like the characters of Pim and Charlie. I thought they work well off each other. It's definitely a weird, quirky world, and I thought, yeah, it's been fun watching this. I'm enjoying it. I don't know if Sean will. Well, I'm guessing he'll request season 3, and if so, that's sad. There's only 3 seasons. It's sad that that's all there is, folks. And this didn't last longer. But what can you do? I guess I don't know if there was something else to it or if there's just low ratings. But yeah, I thought this has been fun so far. Very interesting, creative, which I appreciate that. So I liked it. With that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye for now.